this is Nick here at the Super Trader. I'm going to go ahead and walk you through how I stream, or how I actually create these volume profiles here when I'm looking at the S&P 500. And so I think that we had a question here from I believe it was Joseph, and I will post this in the buzz, and for those of you that aren't able to watch this right now, you can watch in the buzz and I'll post it. So Joseph had a question as to what I was looking at here in terms of identifying areas of balance, and these lines, these horizontal lines here, both the green lines, that represents all the volume that went off on that day. And then if I just zoom in here, you see these horizontal purple lines and then this horizontal red line. The outside here, these purple lines, that represents where 70% of all the volume went off during the day. And so typically what you'll find is that those areas are going to be support and resistance. Volume area high is typically going to be resistance, and the volume area low is going to be support. Okay, so now when we talk about balance, the market is an auction system, and whenever there's an unbalance, the market typically deviates and retraces back into balance. And so what we typically find is that when this market gets way out of balance, like you see it right here, it finds its way back into balance. It retraces back in. Same thing down here. It dropped down below balance and it deviated right back up into it. Okay. Same thing right here. Look, it opened up well below balance, and what you'll find is it typically will go to previous days' volume areas. So you see back here on that day, this was a volume area low about that 1923 area. And just yesterday, or throughout the night, we retraced down into that volume area low and bounced off of it, okay? So whenever we break outside of the day's volume areas, typically you'll find it will go back to a previous time period's volume area. So let me walk you through how to set this chart up. Let me actually remove all of these studies, okay? And I will go to just a regular chart here. Let me just get to a 1 year daily. So this is a 1 year daily chart of the S&P 500 futures E-mini contract. So /ES, /ES. And what I'll do here is I'll go to a 5-minute chart, a 5-day, 5-minute chart. And the first thing that I'm going to want to do here is I'm going to go to Studies, Edit Studies, and I'm going to go down and I'm going to find Volume Profile. Okay, all the way down in the V's, volume profile. Okay, here it is right here. So I'm going to double click on volume profile and it's going to add it over here. Now there's a couple of changes that I like to make just to make it visually something that makes sense to me. So volume profile high, I typically set that as a red color. Volume area low, I typically will set that as a green line. Nope, I'm sorry, I don't want profile high and profile low. Let's go to value area high. We'll set that as resistance. So red, value area low, set that as support as green. And then the point of control, I typically set that as purple, represent just a pivot. Normally the market will pivot around a point of control. Now the point of control is where the most amount of the day's volume went off. So again, point of control, I put it as purple. Volume area low, volume area high. Volume area high I put as red as resistance, profile low, green as support, volume area high, red as resistance, volume area low, green as support. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK, apply, and we're going to go ahead and stick this on here. Now the one thing also that you want to do is come over here where it says on expansion. I'm going to say no, okay? So where it says on expansion up here, where it says inputs, make sure that's set as no. And time per profile, I'm going to go day, and that should show us a profile for each day here. Okay, so now what we've got is we've got this volume profile. Now again, the profile here, the profile high and the profile low, within that, that's where 70% of all the volume has gone off for the day. Okay. Now the day's profile will adjust because that one's not set yet. You're going to see that these lines move around for wherever the market goes. But typically, you know, when this market moves, it's typically going to move back to a previous volume area high or previous volume area low. Now today, what I'm looking at holding as resistance is this 1969 area, which wasn't a high during the open of the market, the equity market. It was actually an overnight high. So we'll see if that holds. But so far today, it hasn't even been able to touch it. But there's one other thing that I want to show you here as far as a good indicator to have on. I add on the 34 moving average and the 200-day moving average for those that want to do a bit of intraday day trading. These are two extremely significant moving averages. The 34-day moving average has a lot of significance in relation to sorry about this, I'm just setting this up. Okay, and then we're going to want to put on the 200-day moving average. So I typically will create the 34 moving average, and I'll paint that one. I'll have that color of that line be green, and the color of my 200-day moving average as purple. So just go ahead and apply that, put that on there, and zoom in and take a look at this here. So in any case, what I was saying is that the 34 moving average has great significance by way of Fibonacci levels. So what you'll find is when that 34 moving average, whenever price penetrates that area, again, the 34 will naturally act as a resistance or a support depending on what side of the market that the price is trading on. So right now, price is trading higher than the 34 average. So if it were to retrace down to the 34, I would expect that to hold as support. And so on a bullish day, you'll typically see a retrace into that line, and that should hold and bounce off of it. Now, if it goes through that, you're going to see typically a move very quickly or consistently down to the 200 average. 200 average also is going to hold as some support and also resistance, depending on what side of the price the market is trading on. So anyways, those are a couple of indicators that I really like to look at for intraday trading to get a good idea as to where this market is going, and you know, try to determine that based on where it's been using these value profiles, or these volume profiles as they're called. So I hope that this helps Joseph and anybody else that is interested in this. I'll go ahead and get this posted and put it up in the buzz. If you want to take a look at it, you're more than welcome to. But in any case, folks, hope you have a great rest of the day. If we need to adjust, I will send an alert. But for right now, again, just watching that 1969 area, and would expect that to hold. Otherwise, we will likely need to adjust. So we may be talking later on today. If so, I will talk to you then. If not, until next time, trade.